Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today, OG Anunoby is declining his $19.8 million player option, and he will join unrestricted free agency after declining the almost $20 million player option. It's going to be really interesting to see. Obviously, I think the Knicks are going to re-sign him, but will he get more than $19.9 million a year? Obviously, I think that maybe he doesn't get that. Maybe he doesn't go over that $19.9 million player option. But, honestly, I think it is a little bit of, I think even though he wants to return to the New York Knicks, and I think that's probably the ultimate outcome for him. I think that's where he'll end up. I think there are some other teams that are interested and for sure would love to bring in a guy like OG Anunoby. He's 26 years old, a great three-point shooter, great defender. I mean, who else wouldn't love an addition like OG Anunoby? He's going to have interest, of course, but I think the favorites to bring him back are going to be the New York Knicks. But at the same time, it could be a little bit of a gamble to accept that player option, and if he has a bad year or gets injured, then he might not get as much as he could potentially get this next offseason. Because you got to, sometimes accepting or declining a player option is kind of like betting on yourself, because if you accept that player option, that's not really with declining the player option is not really betting on yourself, but accepting a player option, sometimes it might be okay. This player's accepting a player option because they're not going to get they're not going to get more money elsewhere. Or sometimes you'll see a player potentially accept a player option, thinking they're going to do better next season, and they'll get more money. And that's kind of like betting on yourself. But OG Anunoby, it's not surprising at all he's going to decline this player option. Even though I think he wants to return to New York, test the market out, see what's open in free agency, get to meet with teams. And not only that, but also get the long-term deal done with. But yeah, he was the steal champ of the 22-23 season. He's an NBA champion as well. Was all defensive NBA in the 22-23 season. This past season in 50 games with the Knicks and the Raptors, averaged 34 minutes per game. Shot 49% from the floor, which was his best shooting percentage since the 2019-20 season. And he also from three this season. His three-point percentage this past season was over 38% at 38.2. He averaged almost 15 points per game at 14.7, over 4 rebounds per game at 4.2, 1.5 steals per game, over 2 assists per game at 2.1. His best year you can look at, probably the best year of his career was last year, the 22-23 season. He won the steal champ. He was a steal champ, getting almost 2 steals per game, had the most steals in the NBA. He was all defensive NBA and finished 7th place in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Averaged also 17 points per game, which is the most points per game he's ever averaged in a season. He averaged 2 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game. From 3, he shot 38.7%, which is the second best of his career. And his field goal percentage was 48%. That was obviously his best season of his career. And that was the 22-23 season. So the last 2 seasons have been good years for him. Unfortunately, he found himself injured in the postseason at the end of their postseason run in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Tried to make a return for Game 7, just couldn't do it. So I'm really excited to see what happens with Anunoby this offseason. I think it'll be very interesting. Let me know your thoughts, and peace out.